Can I just raise this question of superannuation with you? Because many people are writing to me. Almost $42 billion is forecast to be withdrawn from workers' retirement savings, so that exceeds the initial forecast by nearly 50%. Treasury got it wrong again. And the amount's been revised from $29.5 billion that they're taking out to $41.9 billion. I think the government is using superannuation, Adam, as a bit of a parachute. Let people save themselves before they go into unemployment. But I've got Senator Andrew Bragg here, and I should just say he's written an outstanding book called Bad Egg, How to Fix Super. I just want to talk to both these men about these issues. Andrew Bragg is a former policy advisor at the Financial Services Council and a former Business Council of Australia official. He wants compulsory superannuation contributions to be optional for lower paid workers, saying the system has failed to get people off the pension. And he also said these contributions should be voluntary for those earning $50,000 or less. Andrew Bragg, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Hi, Alan.
Just amplify those points, would you?
Well, the main point is, Alan, that super hasn't been a very good deal, especially for lower income earners. What we're seeing now is that many lower income earners are struggling to get a house deposit together. And so they're being forced to save in super, and their home ownership prospects are basically evaporating. So the best way to avoid poverty in retirement in this country is to have your own home.
Well, the point about it is we've had it. Adam, you and I have talked about this. We've had this superannuation scheme for a long time, and yet still there are 80% of people in retirement on a pension or a part pension. The interesting point, Adam, if I could say this to you and not to Andrew, Andrew Bragg has been told by Josh Frydenberg and Scott Morrison, I know what you're saying, and we won't be considering it. You are advocating that the compulsory component shouldn't go from 9.5 to 12, that the workers should be able to hang on to that money. And then in a Liberal government, you'd think nothing should be compulsory. In a Liberal government, there should be choice. You're not getting much response from the executive government, but you are from the backbench.
Well, this is an issue that the Retirement Income Review is going to look at, which will be a report to the government. And I think because we're now having the first recession in 30 years, people are going to have a much harder look at super. I mean, why would we keep on putting in money into a system which is not working? I mean, it's supposed to get people off the pension, not create a huge bloated financial sector.
Adam, let me ask you this. You and I have talked about this before. The cost to the taxpayer, the cost to people watching us, is almost $70 billion because there are tax concessions for superannuation and they annualise out at about $36 billion. And then, and then, of course, you've got the further cost of $32 billion, which is written into the overall cost to it. It's not, I mean, there's more money made available here than there is to the age pension.
No, that's right. Look, and the super sector itself says the system only saves $7 billion a year in age pension. And as you've just said, the tax costs about 36, the fees are about 32. It definitely does not make any sense at all. I mean, you know, you're looking there at twice the defence budget, basically, just in those two sets of costs. It'd be much better to get rid of it in some way and to lower everyone's income tax and let them make the decision about whether they want to save or not.
I should say I didn't make that point clear. I mean, the superannuation funds, mostly, Andrew, run by unions, whip out fees of $32 billion a year. The tax concessions then available to super about $36 billion. Add that together, you get $68 billion. The fees are greater than the aged care budget. Don't we need, at the very least, a sensible debate about this?
I mean, how could you have a retirement income system that costs more than it saves? I mean, it's just crazy. Paul Keating was out there today saying that he created this scheme. It was fantastic, but it's a complete failure. So I think we're going to have a good debate about how we can get fees down. I think you could actually cut fees in half quite easily.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a further issue, Adam. I'll bring you in here. Adam Crichton has made this point over and over again. Adam, you have made the point recently, haven't you, that this accumulation of funds, now we're talking about $3 trillion, that in the 2030 or thereabouts, 20% of ASX companies may be owned by super funds. If those super funds are run by the unions, you'll then have them exercising economic clout and saying, well, we won't invest in coal-fired power. We've got the money, we won't invest. So the well-being of the superannuant comes second to the ideological disposition of the fund managers.
No, that's exactly right, and that's why this should be such a concern for the Liberal Party indeed, because those fund managers, those trustees are generally going to be far more aligned to the Labor Party, and of course they're not really elected. So this is another government, if you like, an unelected government in the country, which is going to be very antagonistic to the centre-right side of politics, and because of the 9.5%. You have the compulsory money going in. Of course, it's going to be supercharged at 12%. It's going to grow even faster. That clout will grow even more and more. And of course, the top 200 companies will largely be owned by these unelected people, and they will make decisions, of course, based on politics as well as the returns of their members. That's only human nature.
Adam, I have to say that when I first spoke to you, both on radio and television, I don't know how many years ago, and Adam was nervous and tentative, and now, magnificent stuff, Adam Crichton, wonderful stuff. I want to raise a couple of very important issues with you next week, which we won't have time to canvass tonight, but thank you for your time, Adam Crichton. And just to you, Andrew, so are we not going to get a debate about this in the Parliamentary Liberal Party? Is the Prime Minister and the Treasurer just say, no, Mr Bragg, go away? I know you've written your book, but forget it.
Well, I think one of the great things we've done during this pandemic has been the super access scheme, which has been very popular. And I think that has opened up a very good debate.
But aren't they using the superannuation money as a bit of a parachute? By the way, if you let people continue to take the money out, which I agree they should be able to, let them take it out, they might stay a little longer off the unemployment list, which will look very ugly in about 6 months' time.
No, I don't think so, Alan. I think what it's done is it's reminded people that this is actually their money.
Their money.
It's their money. And so I think we're going to have a good debate about this from here.
Well done. There is Andrew Bragg, and that's the book. It's called Bad Egg. Bad Egg by Andrew Bragg. Senator Andrew Bragg, How to Fix Super. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, Alan.
Keep well.
Cheers.
Andrew Bragg.